Hey guys, so welcome to another active tour travel adventure, and today we're going to tell you what you guys need to know about Duck Pass Trail. The hike to Duck Lake offers stunning views of the Sierras, peaceful lakeside shores, and a heart-pumping accomplishment of an alpine pass. This trail is super high on my list of favorite hikes in the Sierras and one that I've been wanting to do for a while. Become a founding member of my channel by subscribing. To get to the trail, you need to drive through the town of Mammoth Lakes and past Lake Mary, then turn up Coldwater Campground and head to the end of the road. There's a sizable lot and it fills up pretty fast, especially on summer weekends. We got lucky and ended up tandem parking our two cars in the dirt. At the trailhead, there are flush toilets and a few bear bins for food storage. Remember, this is bear country. You'll also need reservations to backpack this trail if you're going to backpack. Get them at recreation.gov. We decided to spend 4th of July weekend in the backcountry exploring Duck Pass, a 9.5-mile round-trip hike to Pika Lake. I was super excited because this year the 4th fell on a full moon and I wanted to photograph Duck Lake and Barney Lake with a full moon. More on that later. The trail's elevation profile is a little intimidating if you're not a frequent hiker. It basically goes straight up and straight down. Jumping on the trail, you start to feel that elevation at 9,128 feet right away. You quickly make your way into the Muir wilderness. The first stop on the trail is only 0.9 miles away at Arrowhead Lake. I recommend you stop at the lake as it's only a few hundred feet down the trail. Although there is some elevation loss and gain on the way back up, just stash your pack for a moment and take a peek at this spectacular lake. They named this lake due to the shape of the lake, resembling, surprisingly, an arrowhead. Continuing up the trail, make sure you take a moment and turn around for some amazing views of Mammoth Mountain. I love Mammoth. Believe it or not, I only started skiing 2 years ago and I learned on Mammoth Mountain. Hit that like button if you love Mammoth as much as I do. A little bit further up the trail is a turnoff for Emerald Lake. You can also hit Emerald Lake from the trailhead if you want to bypass Lake Arrowhead. The next thing you come across is this coffee-colored pond. This is being shot from the other end of the trail when you first see it. Don't drink any water from here. It doesn't look all that appetizing. It's just standing water. And there is a stream a little bit further up on your left with good flowing water to drink. Dogs are allowed on the trail, and we saw lots of them all over the place. They were really fun to hang out with. I really wish I brought my dog Iris. When the trail starts leveling off a bit, you're getting close to Skeleton Lake. That's at 1.6 miles. It's a beautiful lake with a good place to stop and have lunch. However, everyone else has the exact same idea. I also think that this lake weeds out some of the out-of-shape day hikers, making me like this lake even more. We got back on the trail pretty quickly, but be sure to take a look back at this amazing lake as you cross 10,000 feet. The trail levels out and then kicks up again, gaining a few hundred feet. Just around that time, my friend started telling me she had some altitude sickness symptoms, headache, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, so we sat for a few moments and drank water and discussed the options. Either we camped where we were, we headed down, or we continued the last mile to Barney Lake. She wanted to continue to Barney Lake, and her being an experienced outdoors woman, I trusted her opinion on the matter. I grabbed her pack and then hiked the last mile with 2 packs. We arrived at Barney Lake at 2.5 miles, and wow, is this a stunning lake. There are a few great places to camp along the shores, so we decided to camp close to the south side of the lake to get a good look at Duck Lake Pass. There were these really cool algae blooms that were happening in Barney Lake, giving it its unique color. We set up camp as our friend rested, and that was the perfect thing for her. She just needed some time to rest. Here's one of my signature dishes I made for dinner that night, shepherd's pie. It's delicious. It's great. It's perfect for the backcountry. However, that night we were a little unsure if we would continue to Duck Lake or not, depending on her condition in the morning. So that night I decided to hike to Duck Pass by full moonlight. I wanted to take a picture of Duck Lake and Barney Lake by moonlight, and possibly it could have been my only chance to see Duck Lake. It was a little creepy, but it was well worth the extra effort for me to see the lake by moonlight. As you climb above Barney Lake, you can see the Big Dipper that sits high over the lake. Let me know in the comments where you've hiked by moonlight or if you felt altitude sickness. In the morning, my friend was feeling much better, and with a full night's rest, we set out for the day to hike Duck Pass. Hiking the pass yet again, it took us about 90 minutes, gaining about 600 feet of elevation. The views of this pass are incredible, at night and in the day. There was a little bit of snow on the north face of this pass. I always like playing in the snow and throwing snowballs at my friends, especially when I have a tactical advantage. Cresting this pass at 3.6 miles and 10,800 feet was amazing, as we were rewarded with panoramic views of Duck Lake, cradled in a circle of 11,000-foot peaks and ridges. It's gorgeous and well worth the effort. On the other side of the pass, you're given the option to hike down to Duck Lake and Pika Lake, or head to the west side of Duck Lake over towards the John Muir Trail. I'll head down the west side of the lake in a moment to show you some great camping options over there, and probably my favorite part of the hike. Scrambling down the north face of Duck Pass was just as steep, but about half as much elevation loss as the south face. This is as good a time as any to tell you that this part of the hike is completely in the sun, so make sure you bring plenty of sun protection and a hat and sunglasses. From here you can see an amazing beach awaiting you at the bottom of this trail. Most of the day hikers stop right here at the base of the trail, so I recommend that you hike around a little bit further to find a quiet place to go for a swim. The water is very shallow on the east side of the lake for the first 100 feet or so, and I went out there and swam and had a good old time. It was cold, but I kind of like these alpine lakes, and I like to wash off and swim around there. I got in, and then a bunch of other day hikers started jumping in too, so that was a lot of fun. I'm big on alpine lake swimming peer pressure. After some sunbathing and drying off, I headed out for a hike to see Pika Lake, just on the other side of Duck Lake. On the way, I found this old hut built between two giant rocks. It was pretty cool to check out, and I even scrambled up top to see the roof. Comment below if you know what this was used for. I'm assuming it was gold mining or something back in the day. Let me know. The walk along the south end of Duck Lake was one of the nicest on the trip, gazing up to gain perspective on Duck Pass. Pika Lake is at the basin of these 11,000-foot peaks and is a stunning place to camp. I saw a lot of people fishing at this lake, plenty of camp spots around the west side and the north side of the lake. I met back up with my crew and we hiked up the pass yet again. At the top, I wanted to hike to the other side of Duck Lake, and boy am I happy I made that decision. The hike over to the west side of the lake is about 1 mile section of trail, and this was by far my favorite trail on the whole trip. From this elevation, you can really get perspective on how large Duck Lake is. The gradual elevation loss from the pass to the west end of the lake rewards you with some amazing views and a waterfall and a perfect meadow for camping. I think if I were to do this hike again, I might camp a night at Duck Lake and Pika Lake, and then a night here in the meadow on the west side of Duck Lake. It's a perfect place, and there's no day hikers at all over here. It's just you and the wilderness, and it's beautiful. And by the way, the sunsets are amazing. The hike back is just as enjoyable, and the descent down to Mammoth Lakes is fantastic. You can see Mammoth Mountain all the way down, and if you haven't checked out my video on the top things to do in Mammoth, check out the link above or in the description. And you know when someone is struggling to hike up a pass and you're coming down the mountain and you pull over, give them a smile, and give them the right of way, and you motivate them a little bit to power past you? I did that a lot along the way down. Hashtag trail motivation. Or I'm a little bit of a jerk. We capped off this trip with a stop to Mammoth Brewery. I'm hoping one day that they're going to want to sponsor me retroactively. Thanks again, gang. If you made it this far, why not become a founding member of my YouTube channel, Active Tours? Hit that like button and comment below if you've done or if you're planning to do Duck Lake Pass. In the next couple of videos, I am going up to Cottonwood Lakes to do a backpacking trip with my dog Iris. That's going to be super fun. I just came back from that trip. And I'm also doing a best things to do for Hollywood, California, a locals edition, so I used to live in Hollywood, and you'll see. You want to check out the video. It's all about local hidden things to do in Hollywood. Thanks so much again. I'm Josh with Active Tours. I'll see you on the next adventure. Stay active.